We welcome you to another edition of Inside the Orange. Pleased to be joined this afternoon by the Director of Operations for the SU men's basketball program, Pete Corasaniti, joining us on the show today. Pete, great to talk to you. Great to have you on. How are things?
Everything's going good. Thanks, guys, for having me on, and I hope all is well with you guys.
Yeah, we're doing well, enjoying the summer. I mean, do you get to enjoy the summer? I know there's probably not much downtime in your job, given all of your responsibilities. Is now a little? Do you have a little bit of downtime in July and early August, maybe before school starts?
There's no downtime in our business anymore. we'll get a couple days here and there. As you guys know, it's a year-round sport for us now, and all of our team and most of our players are here throughout the summer taking classes from beginning of May up until the beginning of August. So we'll have another couple of weeks with our guys here to the second week of August, and then we'll get about a 2-week break before they come back for the fall semester. So that's kind of our schedule now. So we never have too much downtime.
You are, yeah, go ahead, Paulie.
I was just going to say, he asked if you had any downtime. Maybe you could just explain what Director of Basketball Operations is for Syracuse.
Absolutely.
How much time do we have? Right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got my hands on pretty much everything within the program. A couple of my main responsibilities on a yearly basis are creating the team schedule for the following season and the seasons beyond that. We just finished up our non-conference schedule for this season, and already in the works for the next couple of years. So continuing to always work on that. That's always a big part of my job. Throughout the season, all the team travel when it comes to charter flights, to hotels, to buses, to meals, that'll fall all on my lap for all of our road games. And then obviously have just my hands in pretty much working, with all of our administration, our media members, academics, ticket office, things like that. So pretty much everything day to day, operational wise, within a big time major sports program. I'm involved in all of that. So it never stops for me. Sometimes the summer, it might even be a little bit more busier for me, especially this year. You're bringing in 7 new players. So, bringing in 7 new players means making sure they're on top of all their things to get into school, their applications, all of that stuff, their housing. So it really never stops. And for me, there's not a one paragraph definition of my job. It pretty much involves a lot of aspects.
Pete, you're a young guy, but you have experienced a lot already in this business. And for those who don't know, Pete's a 2014 grad at Syracuse University, student manager for the men's basketball team for 4 years, was a grad assistant for 2 years. You were a part of a couple of Final Fours in 2013, 2016. We'll get to those experiences in a little bit. I'm just curious, though, how you ended up at SU. Was that your dream school? Did you always want to come here? How did you end up at Syracuse?
Well, I am born and raised from Syracuse as well. So I grew up here, went to the local CBA high school here. And obviously Syracuse was my dream school to come here. Always dreamed of going to Newhouse and getting into sports broadcasting. So that was my original plan. So when I decided to come to Syracuse, I actually changed avenues a little bit and went into the sport management department. And started working here as a team manager in 2010, and then just really fell in love. Obviously, loved the game to begin with, and just fell in love with trying to become a coach and working on the basketball side. And then was very lucky and fortunate for Coach Boeheim when I graduated in 2014 to call me in his office and offer me to stay on for another 2 years in a grad assistant role. Obviously was thrilled to stay on and excel my career. And I ended up getting a master's degree from Newhouse. So I did end up going there. And then in 2016, it was time to move on from here. And with the help of Coach Boeheim and the rest of the staff, I ended up going down just an hour south to Binghamton. And I was at Binghamton in the operations role for 3 years there. And then was very lucky the summer of 2000 2019 for Coach Boeheim. This position opened up, and I think he called me the day it opened up to offer me the job. So it was a dream come true to come back home. Family's here and all that, and just born and raised. And my wife's from here, and we just had a little baby girl. So to raise our daughter here and both families here, it's a dream start for us in my young career.
Yes, congratulations on your daughter. I know you mentioned you're a local guy. I know your mom works at Syracuse University.
Yep.
My wife and your mom actually know each other pretty well. How much did she kind of influence you to go to Syracuse University? I mean, had you been exposed to the university, before you left CBA and had to pick a school? I mean, was it kind of a no-brainer for you, I guess, that you were going to stay local and go to SU?
Yeah, it was definitely a no-brainer for me. I did take some other visits outside of Syracuse to think about, getting some smaller schools. But ultimately, my mom worked here. My aunt actually works here as well. Other family members graduated from here. And then, just for the love of Syracuse, it was, even though I grew up 15 minutes down the road, I felt like I went away for school, even though you had family members working here and your family 10, 15 minutes down the road. It still was, a no-brainer for me. And obviously zero regrets, because it's obviously shaped who I've become over the last 10 years here, and has provided me with an unbelievable opportunity with the position I'm in now.
You said you have a hand in making the schedule. What role does Coach Boeheim play in that? And is it a, hey, we trust you to get this done, or is it, hey, here's some schools, let's try and get them?
Yeah, no, Coach is ultimately the decision maker. I'm the organizer and all that. So anything that we schedule is ultimately his final decision. And but I'll handle all the phone calls, and I'll handle all the scheduling with the Dome and the preseason tournaments, and just bringing him all the options that we have, and then me and him sit down and we talk about where we are and what we need and kind of what's best for us, and then I'll take it from there and work with each school individually and figure out the contract and the logistics out. But ultimately, Coach Boeheim is the one that makes all the decisions, and I'm the one that just kind of puts it all together for him.
COVID's part of our lives now, and it's changed the way it goes. What goes into rescheduling a game mid-season for teams when COVID hit?
That was kind of crazy for me. So my first year obviously was the year 2019-20. So that entire season I was putting together the schedule for the 2020-2021 season, and it was done. It was locked in, and then we hit that summer of 2020, and it all blew up, and kind of got thrown out the window, and had to restart from scratch. And you restarted it, and you put together a whole new schedule, and then we got to the games, and some would get canceled, and we just were scrambling to find games and find teams to play. But I was lucky enough as every other team was in the same boat we were in. So that year, for my first year, was very interesting. And we had a game canceled on a Wednesday, and it was Coach coming to my office like, who can we play? When can we play them? And that year the scheduling never stopped. It was always, hey, you got some teams in my back pocket just in case we do have a future game canceled. You get them on the phone and see if you can make it work. And that year, we had a couple games canceled, and I think we scheduled Northeastern like 4 days before playing them. We were on the road in the hotel, and I had to schedule Northeastern because we needed another game, and they said they can come up this week, and we had to get it done within like a day or two, and we got it done. So that was an interesting first year of scheduling. So I'm glad that's kind of calmed down a little bit.
You bring up Northeastern. We just saw it was yesterday that Northeastern was announced on your schedule for this year. I'm just curious from like a media perspective, how far in advance do you work on these schedules? And like the Northeastern game, for instance, how long ago was that one locked in? Is that something that was locked in a while ago, and the program just decided to announce it now, or was it locked in fairly recently?
Yeah, so all of our non-conference games are pretty much a year by year. I'll start working on those games come this October, November. and start feeling out teams. And the scheduling goes on through March and April. It really does. And our position, at Syracuse is a little different than most schools because all of our home games are in a facility that's not basketball only. We have to wait for the football schedule to come out. There's high school football, there's men's basketball, there's women's basketball, there's other events that go on there. So our scheduling here is a little different, and it might take a little longer to figure out because there's a lot of things that go on in the Dome. But yeah, I will start all of getting teams who want to play us and who we want to play, figuring out some common dates, and then really locking them in come the springtime. As far as like those preseason tournaments, we'll be scheduled those out for a couple of years in advance. But obviously, you got those tournaments to publicly announce them. But those preseason tournaments are, we're booked up through 2025 already. And, obviously next year we're going to Maui, which came out in a absolutely loaded field, just like Atlantis was last year. So that'll be an exciting trip next year. And, but yeah, those non-conference home games, they'll start now, and then they'll be locked in over the next 7 to 8 months.
I mentioned that you were a student manager for 4 years, and then 2 more years as a grad assistant, so 6 years prior to going to Binghamton, and had a chance to go to a couple of Final Fours. What did you learn along the way that has helped you both at Binghamton and now back in this official role with Syracuse University? What did you learn? Tell us about those experiences and how it helped kind of form what you are in your professional line of work now.
Yeah, for me, obviously, I was part of a lot of good. The past 46 years for Coach has been unbelievable with a ton of success, as we all know. But for me, I was fortunate enough to be a part of a lot of, really, really good teams and really good players that I've built a lot of friendships and relationships with. When you go back to the 25-0 Tyler Ennis year, that was that was my senior year of college here. And, the year before that, going to the Final Four with, Michael Carter and CJ and those guys. And then to the 2016 Final Four year was, we weren't supposed to even make the tournament that year. And, that's the year the bracket got leaked, and we're sitting here in Mello, and, we didn't know if we're going to get in or not. And it gets leaked, we're in the tournament, and we end up going to the Final Four. But ultimately, those moments, just have given me a lot of memories during my, young time here. But just learning from the coaching staff has just been what it's all about for me. I'm a person of working hard and listening more than talking a lot, and learning. And that's kind of, I believe, what has made me successful and what has made me get the job that I'm at. And then obviously having these guys by my side and learning from them, and they'll help me no matter where I am and what I need. And I think that just is a testament to kind of what I've done here and the work that I've put in.
I got one last scheduling question for you, Pete. And last year was no joke when it came to the non-conference, but ultimately you guys were in games that weren't by your choice, right? You guys picked. You were asked to be in preseason tournaments. How does that Jimmy V Classic come about also?
Yeah, those games are always, to be honest, I got here in 2000 that year, and that Jimmy V Classic was booked before I even got here. So when I got here, I got the Jimmy V Classic contract. Hey, we're in the Jimmy V this year. And then that opponent was always to be determined at a later time. So when I got that call of that year that we're going to be playing Villanova, I just started laughing like, man, this schedule is going to be impossible when we go to Atlantis and then got to play Villanova. You got the ACC Big Ten Challenge, you got Georgetown, and so that was a tough little stretch for us, as everyone knows, and as Coach knows. And but yeah, those preseason tournaments, you're in them, and sometimes you don't know who the other teams are going to be until maybe a year or two later. And that's just the beauty of those tournaments. And we always want to play in the big tournaments and play the big time teams. And we've always done that, and we'll always continue to do that. And that's just what Coach has always done. And I think that's what makes it special to play here, to play in those big games. And, Jimmy V against Villanova in the Garden is, what anyone should dream to play about. They played Connecticut there before, and we'll continue to try and schedule as much big time games as we can.
You know, you mentioned that Jim Boeheim is heavily involved when it comes to the scheduling. How involved is he in deciding where you guys eat when you're on the road in terms of setting up the restaurants and whatnot? Is he particular, or is that left up to you?
We're not going anywhere without running the restaurant by him, and that's another good perk of my job, is make sure he makes those decisions. So if the restaurant isn't good, it's not on me, you know.
Is there something about Coach Boeheim that you have learned over the years, or you were surprised, you know, because he has a certain persona, right, in this community.
Yep.
But when you get to know him personally, is there something that maybe surprised you? You're like, wow, I didn't know that about Coach Boeheim.
I think, you know, obviously his loyalty to all of his staff members and all of his players and anyone that comes through this program, you know, he'll stick his neck out for any one of us. And anyone that's played for him here, and it's just who he is. He's an unbelievable guy and an unbelievable, you know, family man who's given so much back to the community, and he's just someone that I love, and everyone here loves working for. I mean, if you look from top to bottom of our entire staff, you have former players and former managers that are here and have been here for 10 plus years, and there's not another program in the country that can really say that, and especially in this business and in today's day of just constant turnover and coaches on the move and other staff members on the move. It's just a special place to work, and obviously he's the one that runs it and makes us all want to stay here, and it's just a great place to be. I mean, you have, like I said, you have your 3 assistants who played here and have all been here for all that time. You have a video coordinator that's been here for 30 years, myself that's been here a long time, you know, our strength coach, our athletic trainer who's been here a long time. It's just unprecedented and just doesn't happen in today's college, you know, landscape. And I think that's just goes to show you just who he is and who he is to work for. And he's just an unbelievable guy to be around.
All right, if you can give us a Cliff Notes version of this, I want you to walk us through what goes into a road game. You know, like from getting the team to the airport to the Chick-fil-A after the game, to, you know, because I can see it all, to the bus ride to the airport and getting home. What goes into a road game?
Oh, I mean, it's, you know, prior to leaving Syracuse, it's making sure that plane's going to be on time. That's I lose sleep over that, especially in the middle of winter here in Syracuse, is always finding out when is that plane coming into town and when will it be on the ground. My biggest fear is always going into coach's office saying, hey, that plane's delayed getting out of here. And that's never a good sign to a start of a trip. But it's making sure the plane's on time, making sure the hotel and all the meals are taken care of prior to leaving, making sure the buses will be on time here, and then getting in the air, getting into town, making sure we're all set at the hotel, no issues on anyone's rooms, and the team meals all set up, and always making sure the players are taken care of. That's always my number one priority. If there's anyone that has issues, we'll take care of it, but I always got to make sure those players are comfortable and taken care of. And then on a game day, we'll go over to the arena and take a shoot around. You know, we'll have our players head over there and just get shots up, very light. Head back to the hotel, watch some film, have a team meal, and then we'll get on that bus about two and a half hours prior to a game, get over to the arena, make sure they're all set, get started, and then same as the day before, make sure that plane's in town, because sometimes the plane does not stay overnight. We'll get a new plane the next night, and you never want to get to a 7:00 or 9:00 game and that plane is late getting into town. So it's making sure just everything goes as smooth as possible, knowing that, you know, you're going to have some hiccups here and there, but just making sure everything is organized and making sure everyone knows the agenda.
I got to give Pete credit, too, because he's always making sure whether or not I need my room an extra night because I don't fly with the team. He's on top of everything.
Yeah, how annoying is that, Pete, to have to deal with Paulie on the road? And the fact that he drives everywhere.
People always think about how annoying it is, if I got to do some work for anyone. But I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy working with the people here, and that we have great relationship with everyone. So no, it's not a problem at all for me. It's an easy, simple, hey, I need an extra night room on Paulie's room, so I'll take care of that.
See, I
think that was just a nice diplomatic answer he gave. I think he's annoyed a little bit.
If he was a problem, I'd let him know.
All right, fair enough. What do you like best about your job, Pete?
I just love, I'm an organized person, so I love having, my hands kind of in on every aspect. I do want to become a coach one day, but I know it, will take time, and it'll probably take to get out of Syracuse and, probably go down a little bit, stay in Division I, or, you might have to go to a different level. But I think I just really love being able to work with all of our athletes here, and then just working with so many different departments. I work with, like I said, marketing department, ticketing department, all of our administrators and athletic directors and academics. Now, some of it might be tedious, but I think it's just having my hands on everything and being able to build relationships with so many different people. I think is what, I really, really enjoy the most. And, I don't wish any time away, and kind of, the grass is it's not always greener on the other side either. So I'm very thankful for where I'm at, and very content right now. And like I said, it's home for me, and I'll be here for as long as Coach Boeheim and whoever else wants me to be here for as long as they want me.
You mentioned getting to know people and work with people. Someone that, I've dealt with for a long time and did a lot of what you did too, just left recently, and that's Brad Pike.
Yep.
What was it? How important was he to you when you first got here and learning the job?
A huge asset to me. And I knew that, obviously, when I left here 3 years ago, I stayed in touch with everyone here. So all these guys are, really some of my closest friends. But, Brad Pike, when I came back, he was a huge help to me for a lot of the road trip stuff, because he would help out with a lot of that stuff prior to me being here. So he would help me out with and then just a huge asset to our program, and more so just a friend of ours. And I think obviously when he left, it was a family decision for him. And that was, we all wished him the best of luck, and we're going to miss him. And, it was just what it was. And we're going to keep in touch. I was just texting with him the other day and just catching up, and we're all going to miss him. But I think he was just someone you could always go to, whether it was for work or just personal, just someone you could always relate to and talk to. So, for that, Brad, it was just someone you always enjoyed being around.
All right, Pete, last question for you. You mentioned at the top a lot of new faces this year.
Yep.
I'm sure you've had a chance to see the guys work out. What can you tell us about the team? Who are you most looking forward to seeing here in 2022, 2023?
We're excited. I think just having most of the players here for most of the summer, some other guys coming up summer session too. It's been good just to have the group together and just watching them play together. I think the past couple of years, our summers have been a little different, due to COVID. So it's finally feels back to a normal summer where they're here the whole time, able to work out as much as they want, play pickup when they want. But we're excited. Like I said, 6 freshmen, a new transfer, 7 guys, and then you bring them back, Joe and Jesse and Benny and, Symir and those guys and Bull. I think it's just going to be a really fun group, an athletic group, and a group that's already, forming, their togetherness on the court. And I think we're really, really excited about that. And, to watch Joe and Jesse shine into those leader roles and Cy take that leadership role, I think it's already showing us kind of what the future in this season may look for us.
Yeah, we can't wait. It's going to be here before we know it. It's like 100 days away or something. It really will be here before we know it.
It flies by. It's already August. It's crazy.
It does. I know. It is unbelievable. Pete, this was a lot of fun. Keep up the good work. Sorry you have to put up with Paulie on a regular basis, but thanks for coming on, and enjoy. I hope you can enjoy some of the summer with your beautiful family, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right, that's Inside the Orange. We'll do it again next week. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody.